You want to know a secret?
Tell me.
On the day they announced the winner.
Adam had won, and you were top 3.
Yes. See where this is going. If you don't believe in yourself, who is? I, till this day, believe that I was the best person there, best person for the job.
I really felt like towards the end, there was a lot of high tension. Were you guys actually close, or is that just all for the cameras, essentially? Sami?
Isra?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I know, long time no see, right?
Long time no see, definitely. Sure.
How are we feeling today?
Today we're feeling good, honestly. I've been on a little bit of a grind lately, so just, working hard and yeah, big things to announce soon or later, who knows, but working hard. Yeah.
It's amazing. That's really good to hear. I mean,
thank you.
You've been having quite a busy month or busy past few months.
Definitely busy, not as busy as the last few months, definitely. I think obviously the Virgin competition was pretty hectic, but it's calmed down since then. Yeah. But I'd still say, I try to keep myself busy, whether it's working on my own projects, just doing things with the fam, seeing people, networking, going to different events. That's how I try to keep busy. Yeah.
I feel like you're quite a natural at networking. You are. You have a very friendly, approachable personality, and maybe that's probably why you got so far on Virgin Radio.
I mean, I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
I get that every now and then.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like to think that people feel comfortable around me, and that I have the ability to speak to people about different things, just because I like a lot of different things.
Yeah.
So I think. Yeah, I'm just an adaptable personality.
So for anyone who's watching who doesn't know what The Chosen One was, can you summarize that for us?
Yeah, so basically Virgin Radio held a competition. It was kind of out of nowhere, at least to me. I'm not the most avid radio listener, maybe when I was younger. But basically they held this competition that they were like, we're going to have a competition called The Chosen One. We're going to have 10 contestants. Those 10 contestants are going to compete for their own show, job on Virgin Radio. And they're also going to win a trip to LA to Orion Seacrest Studios. And they are going to report live for Virgin from an Ed Sheeran concert in LA. So obviously to me, the key thing was the job. Obviously a trip to LA sounds cool. But I was like, cool, your own radio show, that sounds fire. Obviously, maybe if I was somewhere else in the world, it wouldn't be as cool to me. But I do know how big Virgin Radio is here.
Very big.
Yeah, growing up here, obviously, you know how much. And then they explained to us when we got there, they were like, our last ratings, we had 2 million listeners a week. And I was like, that's unheard of for radio these days, especially. So I was like, could be a really good way to kind of build on my own personal platform. Obviously, I try to focus more on the businesses I work on and my professional career. But I was like, why don't I finally try to take this opportunity to tie the two together? So I was like, let's do it.
So you've been trying to create a personal brand for yourself for a while now, haven't you?
I mean, yeah, I think I've always, even at this point, I kind of try to think about it what can my personal brand be? And I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm not the type of person that just wants to go out and make any type of content. I like content that, can kind of tell a story or kind of give some kind of sustenance to it.
That being said, I know for us, we're constantly working on other brands, other people's personal brands. We know how to help them get to another extent. Why do you think it's so difficult to develop your own personal brand? Why is it so difficult to create for ourselves and so easy to create for others,
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think it's a similar thing. Maybe we're not as good as it for ourselves as we are for others, but I wouldn't like that to be the case. I think it's more just, I think people find their niche or their thing at different times. And I have a friend who does basketball content. His name is Eduardo Villapendo. Hey, Eddie.
Shout out.
But, he's grown to around 180,000 followers across his platforms. in like the last year, and I met him when he was at around 2000.
Yeah.
And he knew from the get-go that he wanted to do basketball content. That was, you know, his passion, even though he was a tennis player. And I was like, where is this guy from Mexico getting this idea to do basketball content and kind of do that? And he just found a love for it. He found his thing.
Yeah.
And I think for me or for you, and I mean, you're probably starting to get into that more now, especially with this show. And, you know, you just have to find what you like. I mean, I'm very similar to you. I like talking to people. So whether it be doing a podcast or kind of building on something like that or going around and interviewing people, I'd love that, right? And I think that gives you another lane to kind of develop your own
100%.
personality.
100%. You are quite humble, but you're also very confident, which I like.
Thank you.
I mean, do you think that while you were on the show, if you had a established personal brand, let's say if you had, you know, continue to post beforehand, do you think that would have affected anything?
I see where this is going.
Do you think that would have affected any outcomes or?
Maybe. Well,
Maybe.
not maybe. 100%. 100%. I mean, look, I mean, I'm confident to this day. I still think, and I love every single person I competed with. There is another contestant, Mr. Adam, who won the competition, who always said, and this is so true, it might be cheesy or overused or anything, but it's so true. If you don't believe in yourself, who is? Right? Who's going to do it for
Wise
you?
words.
So I, till this day, believe that I was the best person there, best person for the job, happy for the person who won, happy for Adam, super happy for him. But I have to believe that I was the best person there. And I still have to, like, you know, I have to go on believing that. But you realize what they were looking for, right? So in any competition or in any job, any company or entity that's hiring, they're looking for a certain description. We did not have that description, right? We just were given this competition, said, here are the challenges, go compete.
Right.
Right? But they didn't say, this. We're looking for X, Y, and Z, right?
Yeah.
They just said, go and we'll
see
tell
how
you.
it goes,
Yeah.
right.
But we knew the whole time
Yeah.
we'd have conversations that they're looking for something. And I think at the end of the day, that's what they were looking for. Virgin was looking for someone who, you know, posted a lot on TikTok, had that kind of following, posted a lot of reels, was able to connect with younger audiences, not even younger, but like maybe like a teenage to early 20s demographic. And obviously that is my demographic, but I don't create that kind of content. I mean, I hope that eventually I will create some kind of content on those platforms once I find something I really enjoy. But I wasn't at that time, and I think that that's definitely one of the reasons. I think the two people that I was up against in the last three, Avery and Adam, they both do that. Avery posts a lot on TikTok. I mean, not as much, but she's more of an Instagram Reels person. But then obviously there's Adam, who has 160,000 followers on his TikTok.
Right.
So he kind of blew the both of us out of the water on that end.
I mean, do you think that ties into the importance of content marketing today in terms of like, not only for your personal brand, but being able to authentically, and not in a salesy way, promote a business or maybe like a brand like Virgin Radio? I mean, I read like a statistic that said like, 75% of marketers are increasing investment in content marketing now, like across all platforms. And I think that speaks to the importance of it in all regards. Why is that more effective than other traditional forms of marketing? Why do you think people are connecting to like TikToks and Reels as compared to, you know, traditional advertising?
I think it's just easier to go viral, right? It's just easier to gain a following. Like, it is a factual statement. Like, I'm not impressed when I meet someone who tells me that they have 200,000 followers on TikTok. I think it's cool and I'm happy for them, but there is no easier platform to gain a following than there is on TikTok. But at the same time, the work isn't easy, and it's not easy to create something good. So the people that are doing it, respect to them, but it is factually the easiest platform to gain a following on. You could gain 1,000 followers on TikTok faster than any other platform that you make content on, as long as you post consistently. TikTok is one of the most used platforms in the world now. Instagram Reels still not as much, but it's same concept, right? So, you know, you're just gonna get more people watching, because if it takes you 20 minutes to finish a YouTube video, you're not getting to the next video as fast. Right? So you want to be on TikTok because you're going to finish it in a minute, and then you're going to go to the next video, and then you're going to go to the next one, the next one, the next one, the next one, the next one. In that 20 minutes you spent on YouTube, you're going to have consumed 150 videos on TikTok. I'm exaggerating, but yeah.
No, it's interesting that you say that because actually, like, there's this now rise of like micro influencers, and I know you said you're not impressed when you see someone with a large following, but like statistically now they're saying engagement has risen for people with like 1,000 to 10,000 followers.
And I think that that's accurate. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised by that just because, and that's more important, right? If you're telling me that you have 10,000 followers and you're getting like 4,000 likes on a video, I'm more impressed by that than if you have 100,000 followers and you're getting 200 likes on a video, right? Because it just means that your following is more committed. If you were to launch merch compared to someone with 100K followers was to launch merch and they had that follower to like ratio, you'd probably outsell them or do just as many sales as them.
Because I think people undervalue the importance of engagement. And we kind of get so, tainted by the numbers, you know, like the amount of followers we have, the amount of likes, but like at the end of the day, what is converting and how many people are actually invested in your brand, your story, that matters, I think.
You want to know a secret?
Tell me.
On the day they announced the winner, our final challenge was to make a reel for version, recapping the entire competition. Adam's video was amazing. Avery's video was very on Virgin brand. My video was definitely different. My dad was like, Sami, like this seems like you're conceding because it was a little soppy and stuff. But I will say, to the day and the morning that they announced the winner, I had the least amount of followers, the most engagement on my reel.
No way. Yes. Why do you think that is though?
I'd say that, the more raw you are, I think it just does better. I was honest and I was heartfelt and I tried to really connect with people's emotions. And I think that that's probably why it did well.
How do you create like a line between being vulnerable and honest and also oversharing? How do you know, that's something I've always struggled with. It's like, I really want to be honest and I really want to be transparent. But then there's also a part where you're like, am I oversharing too much? How do I do this without, revealing too much, maybe that you don't want to?
I definitely struggle with that too. And I probably get criticized by the family a lot for it. Sorry, guys. But it's tough. I think you just really have to set your own boundaries for yourself. You have to really tell yourself, like, this is what I'm going to talk about and this is what I'm going to hold back because this is personal. And obviously, it can come off like that. If you overshare, not everybody wants to know that, right? And it can kind of be like, get away from me.
But speaking of oversharing, I know that you guys came across, like, you guys really got along on camera. It seemed like you guys had, like, a good kind of fellowship there. You were all going through the same thing in the competition. I just want to know, was it really like that behind the scenes? Or, were you guys actually close? Or is that just all for the cameras, essentially?
We weren't all super close. But I'd say, in all honesty, like, maybe a couple people weren't the closest with us, but all of us spent some good time with each other here and there, especially depending on the challenge. Like when we were all stuck in the mall together, there's a few of us would go grab a bite to eat here and there. Or on the way to Abu Dhabi, like we'd share car rides. I think the only person that drove there
you're like
alone.
Friends. At the end of the day, you're friends.
Kind of. Yeah. Kind of. No, but obviously a relationship doesn't happen in 2 weeks, right? Like there has to be effort put into it.
Have to build it,
we may not have liked each and one another 100% when we first met each other. I think that's definitely grown over time.
Like the dislike or the like?
No, the like.
The like. Okay.
The like.
I was like,
no, not the dislike. Not the dislike. The like has definitely grown over time. Like even after the competition, Virgin invited a few of us, like the top 5, to a couple of different events.
I know. Talk to me about that. You went to the Maidan race course?
We went to the Dubai World Cup. We were at the ARN suite.
Super cool.
Yeah, it was really nice. We also went to the ARN iftar during Ramadan. And it was really nice. It was the top 5. So it was me, Senna, Adam, Avery, and Lujane couldn't come because she was doing a documentary in Syria. I think.
Nice.
Yeah, for her university project. So very cool, but we missed her.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really nice. We got to dress up, good people, good food, good environment. It was a cool experience.
What would you say, like, I'm always so curious. When I was watching the competition firsthand on the stories and, on the posts that were coming out, I really felt like towards the end, there was a lot of high tension. It was very high stress. That was the impression the audience got, especially in that room when the announcement was coming out. And obviously for everyone who knows, Adam had won and you were top 3.
Yes.
What was that like? Can you explain the energy in that room? And if it was actually as stressful as we perceived it to be, what was going through your head? I want to know.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I was like, if you watch the video of me losing, I'm sure it's somewhere there. Like, I'm literally hunched over the table, and I'm like, I don't know. I just, you put in a lot of work for that moment. You put in a lot of commitment. Your family gets really involved. Your friends get attached to it. You have so many people from all over believing in you. I mean, I had messages coming in from everywhere. My own high school reposted me on their socials.
Wow.
Like, like a lot of people were really invested.
Supportive, yeah.
So you really want to make those people proud, right?
So did you feel pressure?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, you believe in yourself and you believe that you can do it, but you're also like, back to what we were talking about before, what if I'm not the X, Y, and Z that they're looking for?
Right.
If they're looking for that TikTok personality or that 100,000 followers already, that's not me. So
how much of that confidence was real and how much did you have to fake? I'm just curious to know.
Honestly, there were definitely moments where I was like, yeah, I'm the Fresh Prince, like, and I didn't mean it. I was just like, I don't know. Like, to me, radio is a little cheesy. Radio is a little cringe every now and then.
So you never wanted to be a radio host since you were younger. Let's clarify that. That wasn't the dream for you.
No, I mean, there were like definitely throughout my life, I'd wanted to get into broadcasting, wanted to like, be on like ESPN or there goes the players, they're coming into the arena. you want that experience, but radio wasn't necessarily what I wanted to do. Like when podcasting started in like when it became really big, let's say like 2017-ish, I was really into it, and that's definitely something I want to do, but radio was not necessarily.
It was not it.
No, not at all.
So how are you such a natural? Where did that come from?
I don't know. I think I like entertaining. I get told that I'm.
You're gonna say people pleaser?
I am a people pleaser. I wasn't gonna say that, but I am a people pleaser. But I just like I like putting on a show, and I like I don't know. I get a joy out of it. I get a thrill out of making content and people getting to watch it. Maybe it's something to do with the ego. Who knows? But I don't know. I enjoy it. I'd say I probably made my first YouTube video when I was in like the 4th grade.
Wow, that's super young.
Yeah. I hope it's deleted.
I know.
Yeah.
I also made YouTube videos when I was younger, and I regret them so bad, and they're still out there somewhere. So please, nobody
don't
try.
look for them.
And it's just like, I mean, it was so much fun. You know, everyone wanted to be a YouTuber, I feel like, when they were younger, because it was just like you get to just be yourself in front of the camera, and then the idea of people liking you or liking what you're putting out, that's so exciting, I feel.
100%.
But as you get older, it's less about for me at least, it's less about people liking me, but it's more about how can I provide value to people, and that's what excites me, I think. I know if you continuously try to chase being likable and having everyone's approval, you're never going to win, and you're never going to be satisfied. And that's something I've had to learn, because I've had some really great comments on my videos, and I've also had some very not nice comments on my video. You have to develop a thick skin. And and that brings me to my next point. It's kind of like, is there a part of you knowing that, if you were on this show, you would be open to a lot of, I guess, criticism, a lot of eyes, a lot of opinions? Is there a part of you that is kind of relieved that you're not going to be subjected to that, or are you fine about that? Have you always had thick skin?
I wouldn't say that I've always had thick skin. I'm definitely hypersensitive to a lot of things.
Okay, right.
I've definitely worked on that
up
until this point, so I'm not as sensitive as I used to be.
How do you work on that?
I guess you just take enough punches to a point where you don't really feel it much anymore, and you're just like, it doesn't bother you, and you just naturally learn to overcome it. But I think that's with most things in life. If you throw yourself into the fire and don't run from hard situations or tough love or criticism, eventually you're just going to be like, all right, I'll take it for what it is. I'll take it how I want to. If they don't like me, they don't like me.
So there's a part of you that's okay with the results, or are you
I think if I were to have won it and I would have gotten that poor criticism every now and then or great comments, look, I would tell myself, listen, I won for a reason. I'm here. I didn't win. But even if in future content that I create, if people don't like me, people don't like me. As long if they're watching, I'm happy about it, right? Because if you're watching and you're commenting, you're helping me pay the bills, right? And at the end of the day, that's what it matters. That's what matters.
Yeah, one thing I would say we talked about last time that we should touch on is authenticity. I know you have a dislike for very curated content.
I do.
Correct?
I do.
You don't like content that's so obviously staged, and you have a very big dislike towards that.
Huge dislike.
Let's talk about that a little bit. What is it that, about that you just, that just irks you?
Look, I think it's a lot to do with especially the UAE content scene. It's just everything is so unnatural, and I think if you do get views, okay, cool, you get views. I respect it. You're getting sponsors. I respect it. You're making a living off of it. I respect all of that, but I don't respect the content you create, because it's either you took it from someone else and you're doing it poorly, or I don't know. It's just, you talked to the 5 people before and said, listen, I'm going to make this supernatural TikTok with you, but we're going to act like it's natural. And you're just not a good actor. Yeah. So it's not good at all. Someone probably should have put you in theater class when you were a little kid or something like that. Like, if you were going to do this, I don't like it, because if you look at content in the West, like in the US or in even South America or in Europe, obviously there's still people that do
the
staged content. Yeah. But generally it's natural, and you can do that here. Obviously it's harder because you have to work around different restrictions and different things around creating that type of content, because you can't just go up to someone in Dubai with your camera in their face, because it's against the law. But work around it, be creative, find a way to make that natural content if that's what you want to do.
I agree. I mean, research shows that 90% of consumers value authenticity, like authentic content over polished production. So that being said, what do you think are some tips that you have to create authentic content, especially in a space like the UAE, where I would say there are restrictions for privacy, but if you had to give advice to anyone, how do you present to yourself to be an authentic person in front of the camera?
There was a guy that actually came to the UAE from the US. I have no idea what his name is. He's an John Doe, auto content creator from the US, lives in the US. He's really big on TikTok. I wish I knew his name. I think he did that chicken wing song.
Safe Show Off.
Sure, that guy. I don't know.
He's my friend's brother.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's actually so cool. Very interesting.
That's so cool. Yeah. Well, I saw when he came to Dubai, and I saw, because his TikToks were popping up on my feed, and he did it really well, right? He would do what he does in the US. He'd hold up signs.
He's so good
and
at what he
people
does.
would see the camera. And so if people see the camera, acknowledge the camera, and they come up to you, they're consenting to be on camera. That to me, that's consent right there.
Yes.
So that's what you need in Dubai. And as long as you're not going to cuss them out, or you're not going to do something madly inappropriate, it's fine. Just make the content. Yeah. So, for example, this guy who asks people what they do for a living, why are you, I understand the person you're recording. Okay, I could be wrong. I don't know you. I don't know how you do your things, but this is my assumption. I understand the person in the car is paying you to take a video of them and ask them to what they do for a living. It's pretty clear to me that's what's going on, buddy. But regardless, why don't, even if they're paying, just don't do that. Just don't, get a sponsor for the video or something. Don't make them sponsor it, or I can't criticize you for taking the money, but I don't know how to explain it. The guy that's so famous for it, what's his name? The guy that originally did, hey, what do you do for a living?
In the States.
Yes, in the States.
I have no idea what his name is.
Okay, but he's super famous. Everybody in the US knows his name, but they don't necessarily know what he looks like, right? Obviously, it's different because this guy makes different types of content in the UAE. So sometimes he shows his face a lot more. But you shouldn't be going up to them and telling them every single step of what's going to happen so that they have a full script ready to reply to you. And why is your reaction and you asking them so just planned and so unorganic?
And do you think when these creators make these kind of videos, they just assume that people are gonna believe that it's not scripted? Or I feel like when your audience is smart, everyone can tell, right? And I'm not speaking about this creator specifically. I'm just saying in general, scripted content is very easy to identify.
Go to the comment section. This is the thing. I think it's getting views because it's so bad. Sorry. I'm sorry. If I meet you in person ever, I respect you as a person, But the content is just, it's, I would tell you to your face, like, I might like you as a human being. So I know I'm talking direct. I might like you as a human being, but I don't like the content.
Yeah.
So
Direct eye contact and everything. He said it straight to you.
I don't like it.
Yeah, but can you blame people for doing something that works?
No, I blame the people that pays them.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like for them, it's just like, it's an investment. It's like getting
but okay,
exposure,
look,
right?
If you're a burger place,
right.
and you're like, oh, this person gets views, I'm going to ask them to try my burger so that I can get that many views, right? So the burger place pays them the money. They go to the burger place, eat the burger. But their reaction is so fake and so scripted that they're like, this burger is so good. and you watch that. Are you telling me that you see that and you're like, I'm going to go to this burger place? No, you're not. You're like, who is this guy and why is he making this video? And you go to the comment section and it's the same thing. Everyone's flaming them. Everyone's roasting them. Everyone's saying like, why are you still making content?
Yeah.
So I think the people paying for that also need to take into consideration what kind of engagement are these videos getting.
But it does create conversation, doesn't it? If something is so bad.
But they're not talking about the burger. They're talking about the person's shitty content.
Do you believe in the saying that all publicity is good publicity?
I do, because for the person, it's generating that income and it's generating that revenue.
Yeah.
Right? But I think like when you add exterior variables to it, it's not necessarily good for everybody, but it can benefit that one individual. So for a burger place, not all publicity is good publicity.
It's true. It's not like a sustainable form of.
100%.
Because it's just all based on virality, and virality doesn't last forever.
It does not.
Which people don't seem to realize. Like if you looked at the pandemic, there were lots of businesses that blew up, I feel, and they would make sales like overnight,
100%.
loads of sales. But now when you think about that, you can't remember their name anymore. It's because it was like a virality thing. It was like, they blew up one night and the next day you don't remember.
Did you own a fidget spinner?
No.
Okay, I owned a fidget
spinner.
spinner.
Okay, you owned a fidget spinner. Okay.
Do I own a fidget spinner now?
Two different types of kids,
Do I own a fidget spinner now?
No. I used to have a Nintendo. Don't have one anymore.
I mean, that's different though. People still buy Nintendo.
Really? Who has a Nintendo?
They have Switch.
That's different though. Like
but like...
Let's talk a bit about your background, yeah?
Sure.
You were raised in the UAE.
I was.
But you're also American.
I am.
And you're also Sudanese, right?
Yes.
Like, where do you prefer to live? Do you prefer the lifestyle here? Do you prefer the lifestyle in the States? Like, I just want to know a bit about your background.
Notice she didn't say, do you prefer the life in Sudan? Yeah, no, I prefer the life here, for sure. As a kid, I think there's nowhere else better to grow up in the world.
I mean, you labeled yourself Dubai kid or Dubai boy? What was it?
Dubai's boy.
Dubai's boy. There we go.
Dubai's boy.
Yeah, so you have like a very deep emotional connection to this person.
I do for sure. I definitely had my struggles here. I've definitely had my ups and downs.
Yeah.
But I think in general, there's no better place in the world.
Safety-wise, I agree, you know.
Yeah, safety-wise.
Lifestyle-wise.
Lifestyle-wise.
Is pretty good, you can't lie.
It'll spoil you as a kid, and then it'll check you as you get older.
20 minutes, your delivery was right there. Like, anything you want.
Still going to Starbucks every morning. And I hate when I get really upset when I see celebrities who come here in the summer because, like, let's say it's like a celebrity that I really like.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, why are you here? You're not going to like it. Like, and obviously I can't actually talk to them, but it just, like, internally frustrates me because I'm like, why? Why would you do this to yourself?
Because they don't know. They don't know. I mean, that being said, do you have any siblings or?
I do. I have an older sister, 10 years older than me.
Oh, cool. Nice. Are you guys close?
Yeah, pretty close. I mean, not in distance. She lives in the US, but we're pretty close.
So what was her reaction when you were like on the show?
I mean, she was all out supportive. She sent it to every single one of her friends. She's posting it on her story every single day. She's messaging me every day. She's like, I'm going to be your agent if you win this. She's like, you need to start posting more on your socials. The competition has so much. They're posting so much content. This is like, Sami, like, what are you doing? If you really want a chance in this, like, you need to be posting this and this and this. And I'm like, what do you want me to post? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, so don't tell me to post if you don't know what I'm going to post because I don't know what I'm supposed to be posting.
One video that stands out to me from the competition is when you were interviewing Kris Fade, or you were on the podcast with Kris Fade. Oh, that was amazing.
Thank you.
You were my favorite on that. I will have to say this. Because you came in with a personal story. You were able to, like, you know, make it kind of just something that was between the two of you. Mm-hmm. You got a shirt that was kind of really That was awesome. That was a great touch. And I just thought also your delivery was just so natural. So overall, I was like, that round I felt that you won.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think when we got that assignment for that challenge, I was like, I got this in the bag.
Yeah, you got this in the bag.
Podcasting is... I love it.
Your thing.
I love it. Yeah, it's just an opportunity to talk to someone like we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And just have a conversation. And I like talking to people. I like sharing my perspectives, hearing other perspectives. I just think it's fun. So when they said that, I wasn't nervous about it at all. I just, the night before, did a little bit of research, watched other interviews. I think that's the best thing to do when you're interviewing someone who's done a bunch of interviews.
Just listen to podcasts,
Yeah, and watch ones with the least amount of views.
Do you have a favorite podcast that you listen to, or you can't name one?
I do.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's really...
it's not like...
No, like it's appropriate to say it, but I feel like people are going to be like, that's your favorite podcast and you like podcasting so much.
Which one is it?
Impulsive.
Logan Paul?
Yeah.
No. Why? Please explain why. We have to know.
I think there's different reasons. There's different reasons to listen to different podcasts. There's educational. There's maybe you just need to stay calm. Maybe you want to hear a story like true crime and stuff like that, or whatever it's called.
So what is impulsive? Impulsive is entertainment?
That's entertainment, right? And so I think when it comes to entertainment podcasts, you want to listen to people who you'd probably be friends with.
My personal favorite is Diary of a CEO.
Diary of a CEO.
Yeah, Stephen Bartlett.
Steve Bartlett. He
Emotions
is
out of
really
you.
good, and I like him a lot. I like him a lot. And it's like he's like really serious, and he sits there and he's like, so Isra, during your journey, what's the most traumatic thing that has ever happened to you in your life? And like the title of everything, like the Cole Sprouse one, like the thumbnail looks like he's about to cry, and like it's really emotional, and I love it. I think he creates amazing
He knows
content.
how to create drama. If you could go back and meet Sami before the competition, if you just walked into this room right now, what would you say to him? What advice would you give him?
I'd tell one thing. I'd tell him, like I could tell him something funny, and I'd be like, "Yo, like when you make that Instagram reel, stop shaking your leg. If you go watch the reel on my Instagram, like it's just like anxiety. You know what I mean? Like crippling anxiety. It's like my leg is spazzing. But no, I mean, I just probably tell him to calm down. Like I think I was
in the moment.
Yeah, and I don't call yourself the Fresh Prince. We had one-on-one sessions with different people from the show. So if you know Eddie from Virgin Radio, he was my mentor. It was just like for an hour, but he's amazing. And he's amazing at what he does. But he was like, let's like cut down on the Fresh Prince thing. And he was like really nice about it. I was like, oh, okay. Like, no problem.
He told you that?
Yeah, like he was really like, he was really cool about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And I cut down on it a little bit. Yeah. And honestly, the only reason I did it was because when I first auditioned, I was like, I don't know how to make myself like stand out on radio. So I was like, a lot of radio hosts have characters. So why don't I just give myself a character? I was born in Philadelphia. I moved from Philadelphia to Dubai. I was 5 minutes outside of West Philly. Love the Fresh Prince. So I was like, let me just play on this and I'll do that. And I guess, maybe some people didn't like it. I don't really know. I didn't pay much attention to it. Yeah. But he just recommended that I didn't do that. And I was like, okay, cool, no problem. Cool. But then the next day, we were in the mall again. And I think it was the last day, second to last day, something like that. And Brent was there with us. If you know Brent Black from Virgin Radio. And he's definitely like very American in the sense that he's just like very blunt. And like, I think to a lot of like, maybe people from this region, it could come off as a little rude, but I know that that's not his intention at all. That's definitely a little bit of his character. I was talking to him and I was like, Eddie was really cool. He was like, very much, I'm gonna give you a lot of tough love with me and stuff like that. And he was like, oh, that's great, tough love. And he was off air and Eddie was in his ear. And he just looks at me and he's like, you want me to give you tough love? And I was like, yeah, sure. And he's like, drop the Fresh Prince. And I was like,
just straight.
I was like, why? He's like, people don't like it. He said his wife. Yeah, his wife or his fiance, I don't know if they're married, was like, why does he say that about? Like, why does he call himself that? Or he said it was his friend. I don't know. Brent, don't kill me for saying that. But yeah, like, I still really respect him for telling me that. But I was like, damn, like, why? First of all, why are you telling me now? Like, you could have told me this like 2 weeks
after
ago.
The damage is done.
But yeah, so I mean, I literally dropped it on that moment. He went on air and I was like, don't call me the Fresh Prince anymore. And I was like live on air and I was like, I'm just Dubai's boy. And then he's like, why'd you give yourself another nickname? And I was like, I didn't mean for it to be a nickname. I mean,
I think the name Sami Mustafa is quite catchy, honestly.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I like the name Sami though. I think you should just be like,
I've tried to get the Instagram handle for it, but it's some girl in the US.
At the end of the day, like, you honestly had an amazing time on that competition. Like, you killed it, I have to say. Like, this is like honestly a very eye-opening discussion. I feel like I've learned like a lot about you and what you stand for, your morals and stuff like that. And I think you're on your way to developing like a really strong personal brand at the end of the day, because you have it in you. I mean,
I hope so. If
for
you have any
sure.
suggestions, let me know.
No, for sure. I just want to know, like, what is the type of content that you want to create? Like, how do you want the world to know you?
Like, I think it's just like this, right? I think I would love to have, and I think ideally this is something I'm going to try working on, but not necessarily vlog style, but I'd love to have a camera just follow me around every day and just do
Documentary
crazy
style.
shit. Documentary style, kind of like, but like current day vlog style.
What do you think a documentary with you in it would look like? Like, would it be what would be like the overall theme?
But so I mean, that's the thing is like if I knew I had a camera following me around, I'd make sure I do
something
as crazy shit as possible. I'll still be me, but I'm just gonna make sure that I'm not the me that sits at home and lays on my bed and just types on my laptop and is working on.
But then, is that really being authentic?
No, it is. I'm just giving myself shit to do, whereas other days I'm just like.
What is your favorite platform? I want to ask that. Like, TikTok, Instagram,
YouTube and Instagram.
Do you see yourself growing on YouTube or?
The goal is to grow on YouTube, but I think to grow on YouTube nowadays, you need to be pushing that content on Instagram and on TikTok.
It's super true. By
the way. So I will be. I will be pushing content on both of those platforms.
The power of short form content.
Yeah, and shorts.
Undeniable.
And shorts. 100%
and shorts. 100%. Yeah, shorts. I mean, people are
I
making
actually
money off
think,
that now.
Well, shorts is.
It's crazy.
Shorts is good. Shorts is good.
What is your biggest motivator to do anything, especially in the business world, in the marketing world, or in your personal life? What keeps you going?
I think definitely my family. Like, I think, they've done so much for me in my life that I just have so much aspiration to kind of give that back to them. And I just, as well, there's so many people in my life that I want to see succeed. And I just have so much stuff going on in my imagination that I want to create. And it would kill me if I didn't get that opportunity.
I know. I said in the last episode as well, I said, you have to decide, is your fear of regret greater than your fear of failure? Because it should be.
Yeah, that's a good quote.
Thank you. Everyone has a different definition of success. What is your definition of acing it or succeeding in this life?
So I think my definition of acing it would be failure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And not failure in the sense of like you're failing, but I think failure in the sense of, making a mistake or fucking up. And I think the more you make mistakes, the more success you'll have. Okay? But I think the majority of the people in this world, you will succeed off of growth and you will succeed off of trying new things. That's the most important thing. Just keep trying and keep messing up and keep, making shitty content or having a project that fails. And eventually you're just going to get it right and it's going to go good for you. And even when it goes good, you're still not going to have everything going for you. And you're still going to have bumps in the road that mess you up or push you to the side. And I'm saying this from experience, but you got to jump that hurdle and you're going to get through it.
100%. 100%. I feel like your story is very inspiring for maybe anyone who hasn't, gotten their way specifically for a certain circumstance or, they tried something and maybe it didn't go out the way they planned, but it's a great example of that's not the end. No. And there's so many more opportunities and doors that you can open
100%.
In the future. You're doing your own thing now, which is fantastic, right? And I feel like you've grown so much because of the competition. I see that in you.
Thank you.
I mean, just to let everyone know, please tell everyone how old you are. So young.
I am 21. I just turned 21
a
couple months ago.
Yeah, literally a baby. And you've accomplished so much, I feel. You've done a lot with your life. Like, you should be very proud of yourself.
Thank you. At least for me, like, I set a high standard for myself where even if I do something that everyone's like, oh my God, like, how did he do that? Or you did that at such a young age. To me, it's still not enough.
Oh.
And maybe that's a con. Maybe that's something that's not good.
I think it's good. Always keep pushing to do the best, right? And always keep pushing to do more. If you get too comfortable, I feel like that's dangerous as well.
No, 100%.
Is there anything you would like to say to anyone, watching this? If you have one piece of advice for them? I've
been working on this is so soppy, but since I was in my 11th grade year of high school, I started writing a book.
Oh.
And it's still not
You're an
done.
author, okay.
Not yet. But hopefully one day I get to release it, inshallah.
Yeah.
But it's called When a Boy Grows Too Fast.
Okay.
And there is a quote that anybody who knows me probably has heard it too many times at this point. But if you're listening, I think, take this to heart. But you are not determined by the mistakes you make in life. You're determined by the steps you take to redeem yourself from them.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Sami Mustafa, everybody.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.